Hey guys, Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and I am so excited to share with you the new release from Crealies. Now, I do have a full tutorial coming up on how I created this one. I created this one here first, and then the tutorial is on this one. Super fun. So these are new MDF boards. Super sturdy, super strong. These are new things from Crealies. And steampunk is the theme for this month, and as I said in my other video, I am so excited for steampunk because I am all about steampunk. I even have it all tattooed on me. This has got the clocks. I have all this over here, the gears. So I can't even tell you how excited I am about this. See, I can't even talk. So anyway, let me just show you real quick. So there is the MDF boards, just like that. And what I used to make these so I used a few different things. So from the cards on the steampunk hat, I used the little pieces here and these ones up here to go ahead and make my buttonholes. I also used these from the Crealies Nestle XXL dies. This is number 96, and I used the second smallest one to go ahead and cut out all of my little pieces. I also used new items. These are the parts, and these are the set of 3. And I'm not sure on these numbers, but I will include it in the video. I will show the images for these, and it'll have the numbers in them. I also used from Mix and Match. This is the clock parts, and this is 102 clock. I also used from the Crealies XXL dies number 48, and that's how we got our little swoop on our banner. From Mix and Match, this is another new one. This is 101 keys, and right here I used the little heart die, and over here this one I used that one, and those are the little lockets. I was going to try to use the keys on here because I thought they were super cute, but I didn't want to overpower my hats with too much stuff. So we'll use the keys in something coming up, that's for sure. And let's see, I don't think I used, looking in my little box of goodies here, I think that's all the dies that I used to make these ones. But I can't even tell you how excited I am for these. Super cute. This one. So because these are MDF boards, I think I'm going to put little hangers on the back, and I'm just going to hang them on my wall. Probably like something like that. I think they're really cute. But anyway, I do have a full tutorial coming up on how to make this one, and I hope you enjoy the video and you're as excited as I am about these products. I've probably said that 10 times in this video. So anyway, go ahead, enjoy the tutorial, and let me know what you guys think. Alright, enjoy! Alright, so we are going to go ahead and create the female version of my steampunk hat, and these are new MDF boards that Crealies now have out. Really neat. You can hear how sturdy they are. And I went ahead already and I made my male version. So this is my hat. I'm going to replicate this onto the female version, but just wanted to show you. Really neat. So we're going to go ahead and create that. So to start off with, I went ahead and grabbed my cardstock that I'm going to use. This one is a pearlized kind of shimmer purple. I figured it would make it nice for the female version. I did add double-sided tape to that. So I am super excited about these new dies because I happen to love steampunk. If you weren't aware of all my tattoos, this one here is all steampunk. She's a mix of Day of the Dead and steampunk with a lot of the stuff. I've also got steampunk on that side. So when I heard that they were coming out with these, I was so excited. I could not wait to get my hands on these. So to start off with, to go ahead and give this kind of effect right in here, what I used from the last new release, from that Crealies Nestle's XXL dies, this one is number 96. And from this one I used the second to smallest right here, and I went ahead and cut out a bunch of my pieces, and this is what we're going to go ahead and layer the hat with. And I did use double-sided tape because I figured it was just a lot easier to use tape than trying to glue it on. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I can see my different pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and add ink around the edges. So I'll do a few of them with you so you can see what I'm doing. I was kind of worried at first if this paper will take the ink, because I had an idea in my head, but I wasn't quite sure it was going to work. So once that's inked, what I'm going to do is go ahead, set it on, but I want it to go ahead and overlap, just like that, because we're going to go ahead and trim all that off afterwards. So let's go on to the next one. And the new products that Crealies has coming out is really neat. I think you're really going to love the new products. These MDF pieces are super, super fun. And I'll show you one more in a second. Let me get this on. So now you just want to go ahead and layer them up. I'm going to just go ahead and stick this one here. So I'm going to work on some spaces, and then I'll go ahead and layer them up by overlapping them. But this cute little stand here too is one of the new pieces, and it just comes apart like that. And this is awesome because I can put my project right in front of me. I know you're not going to see it too well, but this is how I'm working on it, so I can see it, and it's standing up super cute. So that was really exciting. I haven't decided yet how to decorate that one, but I'm sure I will figure something out. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll do a couple more, and then off camera I will go ahead and do quite a few more, and then you can just see what I'm trying to do. So you can start to see just like that. So I'm going to go ahead, ink up a few of them, and then I'll be back so I can kind of show you a little quicker. So I went ahead and I inked up a few of them. So I'm going to go ahead and attach them on. So you're just going to go ahead and randomly put them on. And then once you start getting areas filled up, you can go ahead and overlap. So just kind of do what you think looks good. And just have fun with it. That's the fun part about steampunk, is there's really no rules. You just slap it on. Alright, so I have that done so far. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of this up, and then I will show you what I'm going to do to trim it all up. So this is currently what it looks like. All of my pieces are down. You can see it is overlapped. So now what we're going to do is just go ahead and cut all that off. Just like that. And I am excited to see what this one's going to look like because I absolutely love the other one. There we go. And you can always paint these whatever you want to do. But I wanted to make mine look a little, I like the look of the pieces like this. Especially the male version, I thought it gave it a more industrial look, giving it like with the metal plate looking on it. And you do want to make sure that you have a nice sharp blade if you're doing this. Just makes life easier. Get all that off of there. And these are really nice thick pieces, so it is a very substantial piece that you are working with. And almost done. So what you want to do now, once you get all the pieces off, you just want to go ahead and ink around the edges just to finish off all those sides. Just like that. And next we're going to go ahead and you are going to need some more of these pieces again. And we are going to go ahead and work on this part right here. So I'll show you how easy that is. That looks a little harder, but once I show you how I do it, it's super easy. So let me get those prepped and I will be right back. So for this next step, I'm going to be using from the cards, I'm using the Steampunk Hat in glasses. So this one here, and I'm using this little piece right here because I need to go ahead and what we're going to work on is this piece. So I need to make my little holes. So how I'm going to do that is I went ahead and took just some black cardstock because this is what I'm going to do my base with. And I went ahead and drew a line that's 1 inch right here. So this paper doesn't really matter, it's 4 inches. But I went ahead and drew down a line here and then measured over 1 inch, drew the second line. And then I just wanted to make sure that I'm going to be even. So I went ahead and just drew a little line here. The math part doesn't really, you don't have to be perfect. It's just because I need some space for when I set it on my hat, I just need a little overlap. So I just went ahead and did that. And then these 2 lines here are what I'm going to use to make my holes even. So what I'm going to do to start off with, get this out of the way. So I'm going to take my piece right here. I'm going to start off, and I want to start it basically right there. So what I'm doing is the first hole here, I'm just centering it to where these lines here meet. So the first hole is just going to go right over that. And that's just for centering, so I know that I'm going to start at the right spot. And then I just want to make sure that I see my, see my little pencil line through all the other holes. And I'm just going to go ahead, hold it down with some washi tape. And now I'm just going to run this through my machine. And then I'll show you what to do next. And unfortunately, this one I can't really prep because I need to show you. So take this off. So I have my holes. Now what I want to do is continue down. So what I'm going to do is use this hole here, and I'm going to put this one in it. So that way it won't move, and I know I'll be equal spaces all the way down. And then again, lining up with my pencil line. So I can see my pencil line through these holes right here. So I'm going to do it again. And then go ahead and take this off. Now I don't need to come down too far, and I actually think that's going to be perfect. So now what I want to do is go ahead over to the other side and line it up again. Again, starting with my little X spot there in the center of that hole, making sure I'm lined up to the pencil line. I can see it through these holes here. Stick that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. Again, I'm going to go ahead and now line up this hole here to that hole there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it right in it. Make sure I'm lined up to my pencil line. Now let me cut this last one out. Oops. So then I have this. So this is what I have right now. So what I can go ahead now do is go ahead and erase my pencil lines. So I can go down through the whole thing. Just like that. So you don't even see them anymore. So I have this. So what I want to do now is from that same die, I want to go ahead and pull out the part to make my little rings. So I need to go ahead and cut a bunch of these ones out to go ahead and fill in. Now I'm going to do that one the same way I did the pieces to put on the hat, these purple pieces. I'm going to go ahead and back it with double-sided tape because it's just easier. There's no way you're going to be able to glue these tiny little circles. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to cover all these holes with little pieces. So I have all my little circles cut out. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put them on here. Let me see if I can zoom in a a little more. Oops, sorry, hold on. All right, so what I'm going to do is pop them off, and then I'm just going to lay them over like that. And this is why you need to do them with double-sided tape, just because there's no way you're going to glue these little pieces, because I can barely hold them. So you're going to put those all on. And I'll do one more. And then I'll do the rest off camera. And then we'll just need to thread through our lace. So that's what we have right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish through with that. So I've cut off some string. Now I didn't quite think this whole thing through because I had used some black cording right here. However, my black paper now will not show very well if I use the black cording. So I'm just using some ribbon that I have. It's kind of shiny, not really steampunk, but then again, I'm not making a traditional steampunk hat. So this one's a little shiny. So what you want to do is go ahead and cut off more than you think that you're gonna need, and then cut off more, because I did that on the hat, the other hat, and I actually ended up needing a lot more. So cut off what you think and then cut more. So I'm starting it this way like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm making sure I'm pretty much centered, so I follow it down so they're centered, and I went through these holes here. So I'm going to just hold it down the back with my finger so I can keep it snug. So this one here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it back up through this side. So it's coming back up the first hole. And then I'm going to crisscross it down in this hole. And this is what threw me, was because I didn't take into account the crisscrossing back and forth. So now this one here I just put through. I'm going to hold this one, and I'm going back to the other side, and I'm going to bring it up through right here, bringing it through the top one, and crisscross it. From here. And then I'm just going to repeat this all the way down. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it back up through this side. And I'm still working with the second piece, because it doesn't really matter at this point. You just need to crisscross them back and forth after. This hole. And now I'm going to go back to my other string. And I'm going up through the second hole. And then I'm just going to crisscross it all the way down. So I'm just going to continue this. So now when I made the holes, I did add a few extra because I didn't know really what I was going to need. So when I figured it out, I kind of laid it over here And I feel like I don't need these bottom two. I feel like those are going to go too far down on the hat. So I'm not going to do these bottom two holes, but I'm going to just go ahead and finish it up down here at the bottom. And the way I finish off at the end is when I go through the holes, I just tape it on the back. So let me crisscross this and then I'll show you what I'm going to do on this part. So I went ahead and finished down. I'm not doing the last two because I think that's going to be too long for my hat. And what I did was I just tied it off on the back and just added a little bit of tape right there. So now what I want to do is get rid of some of this bottom. So I'm going to just cut it off. Now I can get a better gauge. So I'm going to trim up some of this because there's a lot. And let's see if I can gauge it a little better. Yeah, so I think right where I am is a good stopping point because I don't want to go quite all the way down. So on this one here, I only went to here, so I have space for my I want to say banner, but my belting on my hat, I guess. I don't know. I don't wear a hat, so I don't know what you call that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set this on, and I'm going to just put it about here. So what I want to do is when I set it on, I want to have this overlapping a little bit, but I don't want these things up to the edge. I want them down a little bit, and I want to angle it a little. So like right there looks good to me. So I went ahead and cut out some of my pieces again. And I'm going to go ahead and stick them on. And this is how I'm going to stick my hat down, just like this. And just kind of rotating them a little bit. And this I found to be the easiest way to do this. So, like that. And I'm going to cut out a few more and get them prepped, and then I'll show you. But I found this to be the easiest way to hold that down because I wanted to give the effect like this was busting out of the hat, and doing it this way I found to be the best. I was trying some other ways of doing it. I don't know if I still have it, but I tried doing something like this on the bigger hat because I wanted to kind of fold this part back so like it would peek out. But then I didn't like this look of it, which I still kind of might try that at some point. But to me, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Although I do love the 3D effect of this. But this is how we're going to go ahead and get that look here. So I'm going to cut a few more pieces out, and I'm covering it up. So I'm going to actually cover this bottom part here so you won't see it. So actually, I could probably trim a little more off. Just so I don't have to cover so much. Oops, I forgot my ribbons there. So we're going to cover all that up with these pieces here. So let me cut a few more and I'll show you. So I went ahead and cut out more, so now I can finish this with you. Just like that. And now I'm going to just cover over the bottom ones that I don't need. So we have that right there. And now we need to go back and trim it all up. So again, we're going to cut these off. And then I'm going to go ahead across the hat. Now this is why we put the overlap, so we can get it to follow the nice curve of the hat. And you might have to press down a little bit because now you have some bulk from your pieces. And should be back right where we were. And there we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and re-ink the edges of my new ones. And I missed a little spot there. And there we go. Really cute. So that just gives you the same effect like that right there. So now we need to go ahead and cut out our little hat band. And we'll do that in a second. So now it's time to make the little hat band. And on this one here, you can see I have it right here. And the way I made that one was from the Crealies XXL Dies number 48. I used this little teardrop looking shape. And I cut this out because it's going to give me my nice little swoop. And then I just go ahead and take this and put it on to where I feel it should go for my swoop. So if you want to, you can always put it on to see how far down. You can put it, see how far down you want to go, and then just kind of eyeball. You want to make sure that when you do cut it, that your black cardstock overhangs. So you don't want to cut it too short. So cut it to where you think will work. And let's stick this on here. I did draw a couple little lines where I thought it should go. And let me cut that out real quick. And that's what I have there. So let me go ahead and make sure we're lined up good. Yep, so it's overhanging just like I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply some score tape so I can stick it down. I think these little hats are so cute. And if you didn't want to do steampunk, you could always decorate them any way you want. They are cute little top hats. This one, if you wanted to, you could always make a cute little snowman hat come winter time. Or any kind of hat. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down. Now you could glue if you don't want to tape. I just prefer tape right now. It's much easier to do tape in the videos than it is to try to glue. So I'm going to line it up where it looks good. And again, I'm going to cut off the excess. There we go. Look how cute that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut out my gears. So I have, I'm going to cut out my gears first, my locket. And then I'll do the clock. I'll show you how to do the clock because I do that in several different layers. So right now I'm going to go ahead and cut out my gears. So I have the set of 3 in 1 parts. And I don't have the item numbers on these, but I will include that at the end of the video. So you can go ahead and see what the item numbers are for those. And then from the mix and match, this one is 101 keys. I'm going to use the cute little heart locket one for the little piece down here. So this one right here is that little one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out those ones, and then I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I do for the clock. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little and start my clock pieces because I'm not really sure how much room I have for all my gears, but I wanted to get the size of the clock down. So from mix and match, I am using the 102, which is the clock. Now how I made my clock on this one, because the pieces are so small, I went ahead again and added score tape to the backs, and I cut out several pieces. So I'll just show you. So to get my clock base to work off of, I just cut out one big piece using just the circle die. And then for all these other pieces I cut out, again, I'll score tape. I would set this one down along with this one. And then I just cut a bunch of them out. I did use some washi tape just to hold it down. So let me show you how I'm going to assemble that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this piece here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to put my outer circle on this piece here, just so I know that I can center the piece. And I don't know if I want to do black. I think I actually want to, you know what, I'm going to do black, and then if I have to, I'll just add another piece. So let me zoom in a little. Alright, so now you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take this piece off here, and I'm going to lay it over top of the circle. Now these should line up perfect because this die was used to also make that part. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it on. And then because it's so thin, it can warp. So I'm just going to kind of walk it around. And then when I have it, I can just press it down. So you can kind of see the little lip there. So on this one here, I think I want to go ahead and have this shiny purple so underneath these gold numbers, you can see this part here. That's what I want to make purple. And that's why you have to put this other piece down first so it lines up. So for this one, now the numbers cut out for all of it. So I do need to get those numbers popped out because I don't need them. So it's going to take me a second, so I'm going to stop recording so you don't have to watch me pick those out. So I've popped out all of my numbers. So what I want to do now is go ahead and stick this in the center. And there we go. So you can see that. So now because you have because where the numbers popped out, you have perfect spacing. So what I like to do now is I'm going to go ahead, get it pressed down, from using a different color now. I'm just going to go and pop out my numbers. And I'm going to stick them in the holes. And I'll show you. And this is why you need the tape, the double-sided tape, because there is no way that you are going to be able to stick glue on them. Because they're just too tiny. Oops. Just like that, so you can see. So now my numbers are going to fit perfectly in there, and then everything's all lined up and I have the different colors. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this part and I'll show you. So now all my numbers are in there, and I want to do, I think I want to use this as my center. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in here. And then I need to go back to this piece here. And I need to add my clock hands. So this is just a flat little disc, but the hole is the perfect spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit this back on the top, lining, kind of center it. It's a little smaller than that gray piece, just by a tad. So I'm going to just eyeball it, center it, and then I'm just going to use my pokey tool. Just make a few marks. So I have my little center right there now. I could use a brad to hold the clock hands in, but I just have the double-sided tape on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So my other one is set for 3 o'clock. So let's see what time I should set this one for. I'll set this one for, let's say, we'll go 9 o'clock. So putting that one there. And I'm just putting the center hole of the clock hand right over my spot there, my poke that I did. And then I'm just lining it up right there. And there we go. It's my little clock. So I think now let's see. So let's zoom out. So I think I'm going to stick the clock right about there. So I think that looks good. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and stick it down. Some more tape. So if I put it, I don't want to cover up here too much because then you kind of lose the look of the hat. So I want to just do it just a little above so you can still kind of make out the hat. So I think that looks good. And then I already cut out my little locket, so I can add that one. And then I just got to cut my gears out real quick. Cute. So right now this is what we have. So I just got to go ahead and cut out my gears. And I think I'm going to do them silver. I think the silver would look better than the gold because everything else is silver. So let me cut those out and we will wrap that up. So let's go ahead and wrap up our hat. I cut out my gears. So I'm going to go ahead and stick them on. poke out the little bits. And I hope you guys are excited for these MDF board pieces as I am. And I hope you're even more excited for the steampunk stuff. So I'm not going to press them all the way down just yet. I want to kind of see where they will work best. And if I even need them all. If I don't need them all, I won't use them all. So definitely are cute. And this hat's a little smaller, so I may not need all those pieces. I'm definitely going to poke out the little bits. Oops. I know this is the boring part. But we are almost done with these. Sometimes I like to just kind of line up the gears a little bit. That way it almost looks like they are actually connected. That one came out nice. And this one, of course, isn't. So I kind of showed you one traditional steampunk with the male version, and then a little more colorful version for the female hat. But they don't have to be female and male hats. It could just be a tall hat and a short hat. Over there. And then I guess we'll just use them all. If we got them, we'll just use them. You can never have too many gears on a steampunk hat. Alright, so let's stick this last one down. And we'll run it right up the hat. This is what I have right there. So once you are happy with where they are, and I'm going to say I am. I kind of like where I have them. I'm just going to go ahead and stick them down. There we go. Super cute. I love it. So grab the other one. And there we go. There are the two hats. So I hope you are enjoying the new release from Crealies for this month. These are so much fun. So go ahead, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. So go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to my channel, Patty's Crafty Spot, or the Crealies YouTube channel. And get notified when there's lots more videos coming up. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.